First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank our fans for being here. Like I tell the recruits, it's always 80 degrees here, blue skies, not a cloud in the sky. We've had 3 weeks now with unbelievable weather for our games, and our guys handled it really well. But I want to thank our fans because I thought the environment was unbelievable. Was told that before the game even started. But I thought, this is one of the main reasons that makes Penn State so special is the type of support we get from this community. So I wanted to thank everybody. Just some great things. Akeel Lynch with his 5th 100-yard game. You think about it, now we've had 2 weeks in a row where we haven't given up a sack. We're able to run the ball. That defense was number 1, I think, in the conference in rushing, giving up 39 yards a game. We rushed for over 300 yards. I think Saquon Barkley's brought something to our offense. I think him and Akeel are a nice 1-2 punch right now. And I'm really proud of our offensive line and Herb Hand for just staying patient and working hard and persevering. I think we're managing the game much better. 3 weeks in a row now, I think our special teams are playing at a really high level. Their returner was a threat. Really proud specifically of Chris Gula, who didn't find out he was starting until Friday. But we talk to our guys all the time about preparing as if you're the starter, and he did that. The last 3 Fridays, I'm sitting in my office on Friday morning, and I see a ball flying through the air, and he's out there Friday morning on his own punting on the field. And it's just an example of a guy that was just kept preparing, waiting for his number to be called, and did a great job. So very, very proud of him. I thought our defense once again played well. Made them earn it. I thought we called a good game from that perspective instead of being worried about statistics. We played cover 2. We were able to stop the run and stop big plays. And I thought we managed the game really good in offense, defense, and special teams from that perspective. So some really good things. Our attendance was awesome, 103,000. 323. I don't want to forget those 323 people. I thought the stripe out for the first time doing it was special. I thought it was special. We're one of the few fan bases that can pull that off, a white out now and a stripe out, and I hope that becomes a yearly tradition. So I got a bunch of really awesome notes that I could go over with you guys, but I'll save them and let you guys ask some questions, excuse me.
James, when you said Saquon Barkley has brought something to your offense, what exactly is something?
Excuse me. I think to be a running back, it's all about breaking tackles and making people miss. That's what it's all about a running back. Then obviously pass protection and things like that. But to me, a running back has got to bring that to the table. Offensive line, the tight ends, the quarterbacks, the coaches are going to try to get the running back in a position to be one-on-one. And the running back must win more than 50% of those one-on-one situations. And he's been able to do that. I think him and Akeel are doing some really, really nice things. So, it's exciting. It's exciting. You think about all the young players that are playing for us being led by all the veteran players that we have. I'm just excited that we're getting better. And that's what it's all about. It's about getting better every single day. It's about getting better every single week. And I've seen signs of that. We got a lot of things we can still clean up. I thought early on in the game we were moving the ball. We hurt ourselves with penalties. We got to get those things cleaned up. I think our Jersey guys were a little juiced up. Mange had 2 penalties, I think, in that first maybe drive or 2 drives. I think they were a little bit juiced up. And then once they settled down, they were good. That's to me, that's the frustrating thing as a coach, but it's also the exciting thing as a coach because we got to get those things cleaned up. And once we do, I think we got a chance to do some nice things.
James, it seemed like your O-line was playing with a lot of confidence as much as we've really seen. How important is that to the kind of development of that group?
Yeah, I think that's what it is for us. We have the ability on the O-line. It's playing with confidence. And I think also when running backs start making people miss and breaking tackles and creating big plays, it inspires them. No different than a great kickoff returner or punt returner. So I think it's a combination of those things. Plus, the better we run the ball and make some big plays in the running game, the less chaos we get. When we can't run the ball and we're predictable in throwing, we get chaos constantly, twisting and gaming and things like that. And when you're able to crease them, it takes people out of doing that. So, the running game is going to help us in protection. The running game is going to help us get more base looks, all those things. So we're going to continue to work it. I thought we managed the game much better, again, in all three phases.
James, Saquon was originally a Rutgers recruit. What do you recall about his recruitment?
I'm not sure about that. I know, when we got here, he was committed to another school. The good thing is our staff has a lot of relationships in this state. And I think Saquon, as well as Brenneman, as well as I can name a bunch of guys, are great examples why if you have a chance to stay home and play for your state school, why wouldn't you? Got a chance to develop a relationship with Saquon's coaches, his family. And I think once Saquon got around our staff and our players and Penn State sells Penn State. So, we're happy he's with us. And we're going to continue to do that, develop the guys we have in our roster and continue to recruit hard in this footprint.
James, when you look at the punting decision with Chris Gould, what made you make that decision? Was it made on Friday, or did you just tell him on Friday, and sort of what went into that change?
Well, to be honest with you, Daniel's been punting more consistently, all camp. The last couple weeks, probably the last 3 weeks, Gould has really come on and made it more competitive. At the end of the day, you got to be able to do it in the game as well, and that wasn't consistently happening at this point. So I thought, if you had to say who the game ball goes to, everybody's going to say Saquon Barkley or Akeel Lynch, or some of our defensive players that made some big plays. But I would say it goes to Gula. Their return guy is 3 returns for touchdowns this year. He was able to swing field position. He was able to pin him back deep. So that's exciting for us. We're going to build on that. If you remember last year, early in the season, Gula started out real strong, and then he hit some rough spots. And then Daniel came in and did some decent things. Then he hit some rough spots. So consistency is the name of the game at every position, and definitely at punter.
Coach. We spoke earlier about the offensive line's improved confidence. Where do you think Christian Hackenberg's confidence is? It looked like he struggled a little bit tonight.
I think he's managing the game really well. He made some great checks at the line of scrimmage to get us into runs and certain looks against their blitz looks that we had worked all week long. So, we've had 2 out of 3 of our games have been in pretty interesting weather conditions. The plan was to run the ball anyway and manage the game. It became even more a part of that when the weather conditions got how they got. And again, once we continue to gain more experience and confidence up front, we all know we've seen it in the bowl game, and we've seen it at times what Jordan can do when we protect him. And that will come over time, and pretty soon we'll have a balanced offense that's able to do both really effectively.
James, you said earlier about the young players mixing in, and you guys got Grant Haley back tonight. We saw John Reed get his first career interception. When you look at this secondary, you got a lot of guys, sophomores or youngers. I mean, what is there for you to like about that when there's so much youth, and we saw Christian Campbell coming in? Yeah,
and even the sophomores are true sophomores too. Talking about guys that are still 19 years old. So, yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting. It also shows you, though, that, this is a physical game. We played 3 tough games. You get guys to get banged up and bruised, so you got to have depth. And that's what we're still trying to develop. You've heard me say the last couple of weeks we got better practice depth. We're still trying to improve in our game depth. You saw that, with Manny and Coop and those guys on the field, getting some reps today. We were able to get Trace McSorley in the game. Torrance Brown, redshirt freshman, gets a sack, I think, tonight. So, so to me, it's exciting. I hope our fan base and people realize, how many young guys are playing and the excitement for our future. When I talk about the future, I'm talking about near future. I'm talking about the rest of this season and moving forward. So, I want to thank the older guys for their leadership. They've been really, really good with those young guys. The way we do it here at Penn State, taking those guys under the wing and teaching them, what it means to be a Penn State player.
James, you talked about the Jersey guys being hyped up for this game. On defense, you had a lot of guys with jersey ties who made big plays for you. How did you feel about them coming in? Did you think they were a little extra amped up for tonight?
Yeah, I think, as you know, we approach it the same every single week. But if you're from Jersey and you're playing Rutgers, it's gonna be a little bit different for you. Their parents are living in that community, and they're gonna hear about it and things like that. So it's a little bit different. But we try to keep our approach the same week in and week out. I thought it was really significant getting Brandon Bell back this week. His leadership on the field, was important. So, getting him back this week and being able to help those young guys in our communication and other things, is exciting. So, yeah, I think the Jersey guys played well. Will continue to play well. I thought Mange played well. I thought AJ played well. I can name a bunch of guys. As you guys know, that area is going to be very, very important for us. Always has been. Again, thanks, guys. Really appreciate you being here.